Imagine turning on the TV on a Saturday morning in 1970, a bowl of cereal in your lap, the sun barely rising. The Scooby-Doo theme plays, that familiar jingle we all knew by heart. But then, something feels different. The colors are a little darker, the music slightly slower, and the mystery, unlike anything Scooby and the gang had ever faced. Could a children's cartoon really have told a story too close to real life? So close that the episode was quietly pulled, hidden, and whispered about for years. Now, picture it. An abandoned seaside hotel drawn in that unmistakable Hanna-Barbera style. Waves crashing against the rocks. A sign swinging in the wind with a long-forgotten name. The camera pans to the mystery machine parked nearby. Fred says his usual line about checking it out. Velma adjusts her glasses, Shaggy trembles, and Scooby gulps. It feels like any other episode. But as the gang enters, the tone changes. The sound design is unsettling, almost hollow, and for a Saturday morning cartoon, it feels wrong. What made this one story so different? Here's the chilling part. The hotel wasn't made up. It was based on a real place. In the late 1960s, there really was a hotel in Massachusetts that shut its doors after several strange disappearances. Guests checked in, but some never checked out. Police reports were vague. Locals told stories of a woman in white walking the halls. And just months after the case appeared in newspapers, Hanna-Barbera animators supposedly drafted their own version for Scooby-Doo. Could they have been inspired by real headlines, or did they stumble onto something they shouldn't have? The animation itself reflected details that were eerily accurate. The lobby was drawn with broken chandeliers, just like photos of the real abandoned hotel. The script described missing sailors whose belongings were left behind, items identical to those listed in the actual police report. And in one unforgettable scene, Daphne finds a journal in a dusty nightstand. Its pages soaked with seawater. That journal never appeared again in later broadcasts. But researchers claim it resembled the real diary of a missing guest, found years later near the shoreline. Think about that for a moment. A children's cartoon weaving in clues from an unsolved mystery. Was it innocent coincidence, or something much stranger? Nostalgia tells us Scooby-Doo was all about unmasking the bad guy at the end. But this episode didn't play by those rules. Instead of revealing a man in a mask, the gang never caught anyone. The figure haunting the hotel wasn't unmasked. It simply vanished into the ocean fog during the final chase. And the closing line whispered by Velma was said to be, "Not every mystery wants to be solved." Fans who claimed to have seen the original broadcast described feeling unsettled for days afterward. Kids wrote letters to the network, asking when the gang would finally catch the ghost. Parents complained that the episode was too frightening. Within weeks, reruns replaced it with a lighter story, and the lost episode was never mentioned again. But if it really aired, why was it erased so quickly? Was it censorship or protection from something deeper? Here's where history complicates things. In 1971, just a year later, divers found skeletal remains near the ruins of that very Massachusetts hotel. They were never identified. Local newspapers noted the strange coincidence between the discovery and the Scooby-Doo episode that had aired months earlier, but the network denied everything, claiming no such script existed. To this day, not a single official archive lists it. Still, fragments of storyboards and VHS recordings float around in collector circles, whisper about like a curse. And yet, if you grew up with Scooby-Doo, you know how memory works. We all recall different villains, different chases, different unmaskings. Could it be that thousands of kids misremembered the same chilling plot? Or did Hanna-Barbera quietly bury a piece of animation history that struck too close to the truth? Think back to your own childhood. Have you ever been sure you saw something on TV, only for it to vanish from existence later on? Some theorists believe the studio had been tipped off by locals, that writers used real interviews and real ghost stories as inspiration, only realizing later that they had recreated a still unsolved case almost detail for detail. Others suggest the show predicted the haunting before police found evidence, which is scarier, that animators accidentally drew the truth, or that they somehow knew it before anyone else. One more unsettling detail. Old production notes allegedly include the name of the ghostly woman in the hotel, Margaret. And in the real police files, one of the last missing guests before the hotel closed was named Margaret Ellis. She vanished without a trace in 1968. The resemblance is too sharp to ignore. Did a children's cartoon inadvertently immortalize a victim of a true unsolved case? As time passed, the story of the lost episode became part of Scooby-Doo lore. Some fans claim they taped it on old VHS during a rerun in the early 70s, though no copy has ever been verified. A handful of still frames surface online now and then. Dark hallways, flickering lanterns, a shadow on the stairwell, but they're always quickly debunked. Still, the idea lingers. Somewhere out there in a dusty storage box, a reel of animation could hold the most unsettling Scooby-Doo mystery ever made. And maybe that's why it sticks with us. Because Scooby-Doo wasn't just about ghosts. It was about childhood comfort, about laughing at fear, about the joy of solving mysteries with friends. But in this one case, the gang couldn't solve it. The mystery slipped away, just like the real-life hotel, just like the people who were never found. And maybe that's why the episode feels so heavy. It reminds us that some doors stay closed, no matter how brightly you shine a flashlight. So next time you hear the theme song, think about it. Behind the colorful chases and goofy disguises, there might be one story too real to laugh at. And somewhere, maybe in a dusty archive or forgotten tape, the lost episode still waits. Its ghostly figure pacing those drawn hotel halls forever. If you enjoyed this story, and if it stirred some memories you can't quite place, go ahead and give this video a like. Share your thoughts in the comments. Did you ever hear about the missing Scooby-Doo episode? And of course, subscribe for more stories like this one, because sometimes the past isn't as far away as we think.